Hello everyone, welcome to my project of this week. In this week, simple lesson, I designed a game for ethnic group students for English grammar class. Let's begin with some background information first. As a teacher myself in my hometown where lives 25 minority groups, a problem I notice is that when ethnic group students enter school to receive formal education, which is dominated by majority culture, they become more like their peers from dominant group and alienate from their own culture. They stop saying their own language and be embarrassed to wear their ethnic clothes. Such alienation, I think, is a loss not only to their ethnic identity but also to cultural diversity. Therefore, I want to design some mini games to help teachers localize their English class curriculum by adding ethnic group cultural elements, but in a more interesting and fun way. I will keep going on to complete this whole project, but for this week, I concentrate on one game, Spot the Difference, to help students be familiar with the use of relative pronoun in subordinate clauses in grammar class. So let's start to see how to play this game. The game is divided into three levels: easy, medium, and hard. In each level, students are invited to uh, find differences of these pictures, all about ethnic group features such as language, clothes, garment, and the architecture. More differences are needed to spot in higher level by spending time looking at the uh, differences. Students are unconsciously exposed to their own culture. I think playing the game were more likely to trigger positive attitude than listening to didactic lecture. Uh, Also, in each level, in addition to spotting the difference, students are also required to finish two grammar tasks about uh, the use of subordinate clauses. The sentence used in the grammar tests all describe cultural facts regarding to the relevant picture in that game level. Um, Difficulty will increase from multiple choice to sentence completion and then to translation. In this way, students will gain familiarity with grammar step by step and at the same time learn more about their culture unconsciously. Once students give correct answer to each question and click submit button, a picture showing where the differences are will pop up just like this. Uh, and also, the page will directly link to, link back to the next level. Ideally, I think I can make this function happen after finishing JavaScript's part. So that's all about my content. Let's move on to the code part. In order to achieve what I mentioned before, I put some interaction design in my website. I reuse the selection part to help students choose how many differences they spot. And also, I use radio in the first level, which is not so hard for students. They can just choose which word is appropriate. And in the media level, I use text. So students need to come up with a right relative pronoun to put inside and put inside the box to finish the sentence. And in the hard part, I use text area. so will give students more space to translate the Chinese into English, which I hope will not be so hard for them. Um, that is how I use interaction design in my in this game. So a little bit more about reflection. Um, Last week I was so frustrated about my code because I'm not familiar with different elements I can use to put into my code. So this week, before I started to code, I revised FCC and go through James Watch Me video on YouTube. This which helps me really a lot to complete this week's project. I know more about how to use different components to achieve what I want and to put into my design. And also this week I work on to improve my organization and the tidiness of my code. Here is a little bit comparison. This is from last week, so a little bit messy. And for this week, I think this kind of organization and tidiness gives me more logic to help me finish this project not in a very long time. Okay, so that's for my this week's reflection video. Thanks for listening and watching.